She knew how to break hearts until someone finally touched hers. They warned Devkade. She's brilliant, but she leaves damage behind. He didn't believe them until Precious walked in, late, calm, and dangerous. Her glasses sat low on her nose as she scanned the room like she already owned it. Every moment calculated and every movement, every word precise. I assumed this meeting wasn't worth being on time for, right? Dave said coldly. She didn't even flinch. And I assume you prefer results over politeness, right? Then she dropped a file on his desk. Your failing Lagos deal is now fixed. That was the moment everything changed. Precious didn't date. She selected older men, wealthy men, even powerful men. She entertained them all, then disappeared. No attachments, no emotions, just control. As Barbie's girl now, she didn't have feelings for any man. At home, Adeze watched her get ready for another night out. You don't even like this man, Adeze said. I like what they offer. And what do they offer, please? Precious smiled. An experience they won't forget. Adeze sighed. One day, you will meet someone you can't control. Precious adjusted her glasses. I would like to see that happen, okay? So till then, Dave, on the other hand, was falling for Precious. But he had to compose himself. He could not afford any scandal or any small talks saying the boss is now following his secretary. So he had to pretend like he didn't like Precious, and he started being rude, being all bossy towards her. And so he didn't even try. And that bothered her more than anything. You're either disciplined, she said one evening, stepping into his office, or you're scared. Of you? He asked calmly. She leaned closer. Most men are. And Dave said, I'm not most men. That tension shifted from being playful to being intense at that moment. It was late at night and the office was empty. Rain against the windows, Precious stood by his desk reviewing documents, and Dave watched her with focus and intensity. You do not slow down, he said. She paused. Then quietly, yes, I do not. And that was the first real answer she has ever given him. Precious' best friend, Adeze, wasn't just a roommate. She was highly connected, strategic, and watching. Flashbacks to when Adeze was sitting across Dave weeks earlier. She's the best you will ever hire, Adeze said, and the worst you will ever handle. So why recommend her? Dave said. Adeze's eyes darkened slightly. Because she needs to be here. At gala night, everything looked elegant and controlled, but Precious looked stunning. While Dave was staring and falling, and he couldn't get Precious off his mind. Then he put Precious aside. You think this is a game? It is a game. And you always win, she said. Always. But he stopped and stepped closer. No, I can't win. Not this time. And in that moment, everything changed. Her breath changed, like she felt a cold water running through her. And that was new. And it nearly happened. Not rushed and not reckless. Just inevitable. A moment where the tension became too heavy to ignore. You should stop this, she whispered. Do you want me to? He said. And that silence said everything. But she stepped back. I don't want to do this. I don't do complicated. And Dave nodded slowly. Then stop acting like you're not already in it. Days later, Adaeze noticed that Precious was getting closer to Dave, and now it seemed more intense. And Adaeze didn't like that. She didn't like that Precious might use Dave, just like she uses other men. And Adaeze was secretly in love with Dave. And so, she came up with a plan in order to reveal who Precious is to Dave. And that was the beginning of destruction. So Adaeze met up with Dave at a dinner, telling him about Precious, about how Precious is not the girl he thinks she is, how Precious is naughty and sports, how she uses men and dumps men, how she had a miscarriage for a particular guy she once liked, and how Precious wasn't the one for him. Later that evening, Precious found out, and her voice dropped. "You told him all of that?" Adaeze denied it. "No, I didn't. How did you even get to know that?" "I did get to know because Dave told me everything you told him." Then Adaeze was furious. "Okay, fine. I didn't deny it. I told him who you really are." And that night, they had a fight. "You had no rights," Precious snapped. "I was saving you," she said. "From what, myself?" "Yes," Adaeze said. "That's a lie, Adaeze. And you know." "I know you like Dave, and I've seen the way you look at him at the office. Please do not pretend." And that word echoed, hard and loud, because Adaeze knew it was true. And Precious laughed. "So you think I'm broken, and that's why you don't think I deserve to be with Dave, because I'm too broken for him?" Adaeze's voice softened. "Yes, I think you are broken, and you are hurting, and you do not deserve a man like Dave." And Precious was furious. "Get out! Get out, Adaeze!" And just like that, she lost the only person she thought loved her the most. And Dave found her days later. No makeup, just her. "You look different," he said. I'm tired. I'm tired of everything." "Of what?" Dave said, pretending I do not feel anything. And finally, the truth came out. "My father destroyed my mother," she said quietly. "I watched her beg for love." And Dave didn't interrupt. "I promised myself I never want to be that weak." "But you're not weak," Dave said. I am if I stay." And Dave nodded. "No, you're not." There and then, Dave confessed, "I'm in love with you, Precious, and I do not want to hide that anymore. And I'm tired of pretending too." And that was how everything changed once again. Now, everything collided. Dave and Precious. Weeks passed, and Adaeze returned. "I didn't betray you," she said. "I forced the truth out." "You humiliated me," Precious said. "And I saved you from living a lie." I'm sorry I hurt you, Precious. I'm sorry I was selfish. But please, I do not want our friendship to end. I'm sorry I let my pride get in the way. I love you so much, Precious. Please forgive me." And Precious forgave Adaeze. And then, that was all at the moment. Precious thinking, now, everything is fine. There's nothing to worry about. Now, Dave and Precious can have peace at last. But dear, let me tell you, this was just the beginning, because a bigger problem is on its way, and it's coming very soon. Days later, Precious went to speak to Dave at his office. And then she confessed, I do not know how to do this, she admitted. Do what? Stay. And Dave stepped closer. Then don't run. She looked at him, really looked at him. No games, no marks, and no control. I'm going to hurt you, she whispered. Well, maybe you are, he said, but at least it was real. And for the first time in her life, Precious didn't choose control. She chose risk. Well, the past doesn't knock. It walks in like it still owns the place. That morning, at the boardroom, the doors opened and everything stopped. She didn't rush and she didn't hesitate. She walked in like she had never left. Tall, elegant, and controlled. Dave froze. And for the first time since anyone had known him, Dave Kade lost his composure. Victoria, he said. Precious, standing beside him, felt it intensely, and she didn't like the sound of that. Victoria Halley smiled softly. Hello, Dave. The whole room was quiet. Victoria wasn't just an ex. She was the one. The only woman Dave has ever loved completely. The only woman who had ever left him broken. Flashback to when they were younger. Under the rain, a younger Dave. Stay, he said. And Victoria shook her head, tears in her eyes. I can't love you the way you need. And that's no love, is it? So she walked away. Back at the office, Precious watched him watching Victoria. And for the first time, she felt something unfamiliar. Jealousy. But guess what? Victoria wasn't back for closure. She was back for control. Have acquired 30% of your company, she said, casually during a meeting. The room shifted. I want a partnership. And Dave narrowed his eyes. And why would I agree to that? Victoria held his gaze. Because you always trusted me. And because you're still in love with me. And Precious cut in sharply. That was before you walked away. Victoria turned slowly. And who are you? His assistant. And a pause. A slight smile. Ah, the famous Precious. And then there was tension. Immediate, sharp, and personal. Victoria had studied Precious. The way a strategist studies a weakness. You are impressive, she said privately. I know, Precious said, but you are emotional. Precious smirked. And you are manipulative. Victoria stepped closer. I loved him before you existed in this world. Even before he existed in your own world. And you lost him, she said. No, Victoria whispered. I let him go. And there is a difference. That line stayed with Precious longer than she expected. Because it was deep. And deep down, she feared it might be true. And now, Dave started changing. Not obviously, but enough. Longer silence, more distance, and more memories. You're distracted, Precious said one night. I'm handling it. No, you are not. He exhaled. You do not understand what she was to me. And that hit hard. Was, Precious repeated. Dave didn't answer. And that silence said everything. And Adeze walked in on the conversation. And immediately, she sensed the shift. She dragged Precious to the corner. She's dangerous, Precious. I know. No, you don't, Precious. Adeze leaned closer. Victoria doesn't lose. If she's back, she wants something, and Precious' jaw tightened. She wants him, right? And so, Victoria didn't chase. She just reminded. A touch on Dave's arm, a sharp memory, and a look that said, "We've been here before." The following morning, Precious confronted Dave. "You still feel something for her, right?" And Dave didn't deny it. And that was worse than betrayal.